So, if you're a light worker, you've been on this journey for a while, you may find that you are questioning your journey, questioning your path. Like, is any of this real? All the things you may have experienced. Maybe you're questioning, is something going to happen eventually, or is nothing ever going to change? Well, this video, I'm going to share with you an experience that I had with my Pleiadian guide years ago and how important that was to me now in terms of really starting to understand what's happening on our path, because I really feel like we're at this precipice or convergence point right now, and things are about to shift in a really, really big way. Could be towards the end of this year, maybe early into 2026, but something big is going to happen. I can feel it. And if you're feeling like a little lost right now, maybe your faith is shaken, you're standing on rocky ground, this video is definitely going to help you out. So when I first awakened, I was connected with my guides, of course, and the Galactic Federation, and they brought me my Pleiadian guide, and I had all sorts of magical experiences, all of these amazing things. Spirituality was never one of those subjects to me that I read about, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I'm going to dive into that. My knowing, really, and the information that I bring forward on this channel and in these videos came from my experiences directly. These were experiences that I had with my guides, with members of the Federation, even with deceased relatives at times, right? So much going on. I talk a lot about it in videos. If you haven't gotten into some of those experiences, definitely you can find them on my channel about the magic and the things that happen. Now, I had people around me as well when I was having these experiences were there to actually witness this and experience it as well. So all the people that were close to me knew that there was something big going on. This was never something that was just inspired or something that interested me that I wanted to get into. It came out of a flash. And in that moment, my life changed. Now, with what's been happening, I've been seeing over the past couple of years, a lot of new people enter the community, the spiritual community, a lot of light workers, and then a lot of them start to kind of fall off, right? It's almost like, okay, this was a trending thing, and now maybe the trend is shifting a little bit, so they're falling off and maybe moving on to other things. With me, that's not the case. This is my life. This is what I do. Again, it comes out of my experiences. Now, there's this situation going on now within the world and collectively, I feel, where people are kind of losing their way. People are maybe losing faith. They're not seeing things unfold like they thought they would fast enough. And that's just part of the process, part of the journey. But my guides have never given me any sort of a timeline, anything. In fact, they refuse to, because that kind of then sets an expectation for how events are going to unfold. And it really is limiting, and it limits you. But I had this experience that I want to share. This happened early on, shortly after I connected with my Pleiadian guide and met my Pleiadian guide, or awakened to my Pleiadian guide, where she took me etherically. A portal opened up, and I bilocated into what looked like a log cabin. That's the best way to describe it. There was this beautiful mountain in the background. Now, I didn't know what the mountain was or where I was. I later, after the experience, did some research and found out it was Mount Kalish, okay, which is the crown chakra, I believe, of the planet. So she takes me here. This is a log cabin. In the back of the cabin, there's these beautiful windows overlooking this mountain, this beautiful landscape, and there's UFOs or craft coming and going. They're landing, they're taking off, coming and going. And I remember looking out over this pasture, and there was a river there. It was just absolutely beautiful. But there was one thing that was glaring to me that was lacking, and that was people. And I remember saying to her, I said, where are all the people? And she explained to me, she goes, Mark, this is your 5D, consider this your 5D house. This is your space. There are higher dimensional beings coming and going that you can interact with here, that are interacting with your space here. But there aren't people here yet because the people are not ready or have not reached this vibration to meet you here at this point. I'm like, oh, okay. And I know there were other light workers and starseeds out there that were really high vibrational and really helping the collective and all of that. I didn't see anybody else here. This was my space. But there were just no people. And she said to me, she said, when you lean into and do what you're here to do, which is to help people reconnect with their light, and ground and integrate their light and heal, people will start to come. It's basically kind of like if you build it, they will come. So that's what this space represented to me years ago. Now, since then, I feel like we've been going through this intense healing and this intense clearing, and people are getting caught up with everything that's happening in the world. And when you do that, you get distracted from your light, and that's part of the process. I've been there as well. It's kind of like a dark night of the soul. So if you're feeling like you're questioning where all of this is heading, maybe you're even questioning, is any of this real, right? It's so important right now for you to lean into your experiences, lean into the synchronicities, lean into the magic, lean into those connections and conversations with your guides. All of those things were there, they're seeds, they were planted within you, and you definitely have the ability to go back to those and lean on those. When I get stuck, when I feel like lost, I go back to those because I know they were very real. Again, for me, because of my personality, I needed a lot of external validation when I first awakened. That's why I have friends and family around me who experienced some of that with me. They saw it happen. They saw it unfold. Crazy things. That is just me. Maybe you didn't need that, but yet you have had connection and contact and experiences with your guides. You've experienced the synchronicities. You knew when it happened that it was absolutely real because you felt it deep down. Those are the things you need to go back to and lean into when things start to look dark or things start to look shaky, because not a lot's happening, right? Maybe some of the people you were following kind of fell off, or maybe some of the people you were following shifted their views. Maybe they've gone more towards religion, or they've gone, in a completely different direction, right? This is not a trending thing, okay? If you are here and you've been subscribed to me, and if you're not, please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. You are on this journey with me. You are part of that family, okay? You are part of the star family, right? In fact, you came down from that family to bring that light here to earth. Now, there are going to be times on this journey where you may feel like nothing's happening. I feel disconnected. I can't connect with my guides, right? I feel like something's off. That's part of the stuff that you had within you, whether it's from past trauma, programming, limiting beliefs, all that kind of stuff that is ready to be released. It's important that you sit with that, right? But sometimes it's like, well, I don't know. Should I sit with that? I don't know if any of this is real. I feel so lost. I don't know if any of this is real. Well, I can assure you that this process is happening. Okay, I've experienced so many magical things that have to be crazy to deny it. Okay, like I said, people around me have seen it as well. This is happening. Don't waver. Now is not the time to waver, but now is the time to reflect inward, lean inward on what you know to be true. Okay, there's so much noise collectively that it could obscure your connection. It just takes, my guide was telling me the other day, right? You could be tuned in, you could be aligned, you could be connected, you could be feeling amazing. Something happens, whether it be internally or collectively, and it's like turning the radio dial just slightly off that perfect tune, right? And the music is just a little bit flat, right? You may not realize it for a while that you've been listening to music that has not been completely accurately dialed in, right? To get the full sound, that fullness and sound of the music. But at some point, you're going to realize that. You'll be like, okay, I'm not completely tuned in. That's okay. Start to get aligned. Tune back in. Sometimes it just takes a tiny little tweak of the dial to get that amazing connection back, that amazing sound in all of those amazing experiences. Now, she told me, this was my Pleiadian guide just the other day, that for many of us, that radio dial has been bumped. Okay, so if you find that you're questioning all of this, know that you are just slightly out of phase, slightly out of alignment. Now, we've been out of alignment for some time now, slightly out of phase for some time now. Okay, but I think we're just starting to realize that, oh, okay, things may feel a little bit different right now because just not completely tweaked in aligned, like dialed in, right? Got to adjust that little radio dial just ever so slightly. And as soon as you become aware of that and you start to connect back in here and breathe and feel, go back to those amazing experiences you had, you will tweak that little radio dial and you will bring back the fullness of your connection. There's a lot of us that have been kind of bumped a little bit here and there, and that's okay. Again, that's part of the process. That's nothing to be ashamed of. It doesn't mean none of this is real. All it means is that you're going through a period now where you need to bring awareness to the fact that you're in control of your vibration, what frequency you tune into. But again, it's just a tiny little tweak. You haven't been knocked way off. So get back in, get recentered, align, breathe. Give your nervous system the ability to calm down and find some peace. When you're knocked out of alignment ever so slightly, and I'm talking minor shift to where you really don't notice it other than, I'm just feeling like something's slightly off, okay? Bring it back to the body. Give your nervous system a chance to calm down. Accept it. We're all a little bit off at times. That's okay. Bring it back in. Calm your nervous system down. You will slip back into alignment. Synchronicities will ramp up again. You'll start to feel that connection on a stronger level. It's like, again, fine-tuning into like standard definition versus high definition, right? Sometimes over the past 3 years or so, we've been feeling like, oh, we're in standard definition, not high definition. Just give that dial a little tweak of alignment, and you'll move back into high definition, and your guides will return. The intuition will come back strong. All of those things will happen. We will continue to rise vibrationally, continue to help the planet to heal and to ascend as well. And I know for me, when I go back to that 5D cabin, that 5D house, I'm going to start to see more people showing up out through those windows, because we are not only navigating or rising into those frequency bandwidths of New Earth, but we're holding that. We're holding that space for others to be able to find it and tune into it. So don't lose faith. If you feel like you're a little wobbly in what's happening here, again, go back to those experiences that led you here to begin with. Okay, remember, this wasn't something for me where I was like flipping through the internet or reading a book. I'm like, oh, spirituality, that sounds kind of cool. I'm going to explore that. This happened to me in a flash, and my life changed. Okay, I had amazing experiences unfold. So we are going through this. This is very, very real. This is happening, but part of that process is slipping back into standard definition. Think of that like maybe before you awakened, high definition after you awakened. When you feel yourself slipping back into standard definition, give yourself the time, give yourself the presence, calm your nervous system down, bump that radio dial back to high definition. Your energy will be restored. The knowing will come forward. Your guides, all of that amazing things, it'll simply return. Then you can hold that space for others who may be lost along their way. You've got this. We're in it together. If you need anything, you could always reach out to me. You could schedule a coaching session. There's a link in the description. And if you're interested in my New You program, where we really dive into this and clear the channel, clear the way, get dialed in, healing, staying aligned, just building that foundation so you no longer wobble like crazy, I'm going to leave a link in the description for my free masterclass so you can learn more about my New You program. And I hope to see you there.